Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello friends, in earlier videos we learnt about fractions and multiplication of a fraction by an improper fraction, proper fraction, whole number. So in this video we'll be starting up with our third exercise, which is exercise 2.3. Now let's start with the first question of this exercise. It says that we need to find 1 by 4 of 1 by 4. Now we've already discussed that if we have of represents multiplication. So 1 by 4 times 1 by 4 will be multiplying the numerator and we'll be multiplying the denominators as well. So we'll be getting 1 by 16 as the final answer which we have. Let's move on to the B part. There will be 1 by 4 times 3 by 5. So we'll be multiplying the numerator and then denominator as well. So we'll be getting 3 by 20. Since these are proper fractions, so we do not have to convert it to mixed fractions or something. Now let's move on to C part. It is 1 by 4 times 4 by 3. Now if we can cancel anything out, we should do that. So we are left with only 1 times 1 by 1 times 3. So we'll be getting the final answer as 1 by 3. Now let's move on to the second part of it. Now A part says 1 by 7 of 2 by 9. Since we cannot cancel anything out, so we'll be writing down the product of numerators and denominators. So we'll be getting 2 by 63. Now this is a proper fraction, so we're moving on to B part. B part says 1 by 7 of 6 by 5. Doing out the same procedure, we'll be getting 6 by 35. Let's move on to the C part now. 1 by 7 times 3 by 10, which will be 1 by 3 times 7 by 10, which will be 3 by 70. Let's move on to the second question which we have. It says that we need to multiply and reduce to lowest form if it's possible. So the first question is 2 by 3. We'll be converting that improper or mixed fraction to improper fraction, and then we need to multiply same as we multiplied in earlier questions. So we'll be getting 3 to the 6 plus 2 8 by 3. We cannot cancel anything out, so we'll be getting 2 times 8 over 3 times 3, which will be 16 by 9. Now we cannot cancel them out, we cannot take it to the lowest form, so we'll convert it to improper fraction which is there. We'll convert it to mixed fraction. So we'll be getting 7 by 9. Let's move on to the second part. Now to lower it down, we will be multiplying it first. So 2 times 7 by 7 times 9. So it is 14 times 63. To convert it to the lowest form, we will make it simplified version. 7 to the 14, 7 9 the 63. So we can write 2 by 9. So we can do this way as well. Over here as well, since they asked to multiply and then reduce to lowest term, we have to do this way. Or in other questions which we'll be having, we can cancel them out here as well. But since they asked us to write the product and then lowest it down, so we need to do that as well. So we will be multiplying it first and then we'll be cancelling it out, which we have. So what do? So let's say we start off with 2. So 2 9s are 18, 2 1s are 2, 2 6s are 12. We cannot do it further, so we'll be getting 9 by 16, which is the final answer which we have. Again, 9 times 3 by 5 times 5, which is 27 by 25. Now we cannot simplify it further, we cannot reduce it to lowest term, and we know that this is, improper fraction. So we'll be converting it to mixed fraction. So we'll be getting 1 2 upon 25. Now let's move on to fifth part. We'll be doing the same thing. 1 times 15 over 3 times 8, which will be 15 times 24. So to making it to the lowest part, let's try and divide it by 3. So 3 5s are 15, 3 8s are 24. So we'll be getting 5 by 8 as the final answer. Move on to the next part. Again, I'm telling you, please be with pen and paper and try to do these questions yourself as well, so that we'll be coming up to another question if we have, and if you have any doubt, we can clear then and there itself. So 11 times 3 is 33 upon 20. Now we cannot cancel anything out, so we'll be getting 33 upon 20. Since it's an improper fraction, so we'll be moving ahead and converting it to mixed fraction. So we'll be getting 113 by 20. So we'll be getting 113 by 20 as the final answer for this part. Let's move on to another part, multiplying it again. So we'll be getting 48 upon 35. Now, to these again, you cannot cancel anything out, and it's an improper fraction. So we'll be writing it down like this. So it is 113 by 35. Now let's move on to question 3. Over here we need to multiply the following fractions. We'll start writing it up 2 by 5. We'll convert 5 1 by 4, which is an mixed fraction, to improper fraction. So we'll be getting 4 times 5, which is 20, plus 1 is 21 by 4. Now we can reduce it over here as well, because they didn't ask me to multiply it first and then reduce it to the lowest form. So over here we can see that this 2 will cancel out with this 2. So we'll be getting 21 by 5 into 2, because we cannot multiply it further or cancel them out. So we'll be getting 21 by 10. To convert it to mixed fraction, we'll be getting 10. We'll be getting 2, 1 by 10 as your final answer for this part. Let's move on to the second part. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32 by 5 into 7 by 9. We'll see if we can multiply any of it, or we can cancel that out. The answer is no. So we'll be multiplying the denominators and numerators. So we'll be getting this. So we'll be getting 224 by 45. So let's say and divide it by, and try to convert it to improper fraction, which is already there, but we'll try to convert it to mixed fraction. So 45 times 5 is 225. So we can write it down, 45 times 4, which is 180. So we are left with 4. So we'll be getting 444 by 45. Let's move on to third part. We'll get 3 by 2 times sizes of 15, 116 by 3. Now over here, if we can cancel them out, we'll do that. And over here it's 8. So we actually come up with the final answer, which is only 8. Over here we have 5 by 6 and 7 to the 14 plus 3 is 17 by 7. We cannot cancel anything out. So we'll be multiplying or writing down the product of the numerator and the denominators as well. So 17 5s are 85, 6 7s are 42. We'll be solving it up. So we'll be getting 2, 1 by 42. So we're getting 2, 1 by 42. Let's move on to the fifth part. So we'll be converting mixed fraction to improper fraction. So 5 is a 15 plus 2, 17 by 5 times 4 by 7. We cannot cancel anything out. So we'll be multiplying the numerator and the denominator as well. 17 times 4 is 68 by 35. So we'll be getting 1, or you can write it down over here and you can try and solve this out. 35, cancel it out. So we're getting 133 by 35. Let's move on to the sixth part now. 13 by 5 times 3. So we'll be getting 13 times 3 by 5, which is 39 by 5. So what do we get? How can we convert it to mixed fraction? So we'll be getting 7 4 by 5. Let's move on to the last part of this question. 7 3s are 21 plus 4 is 25 by 7 times 3 by 5. Now over here we can cancel this 5 with this 25. So we'll be getting 5 times 3 by 7, which is 15 by 7, which is 2, 1 by 7, which is the final answer which we get. Let's move on to the fourth question now. Among these, we need to find which is greater. Is this is greater or this is greater? So let's try and check it out. 2 7 of 3 by 4 means 2 by 7 into 3 by 4, which is, after cancelling them out, you'll be getting 3 by 28. And if you talk about 3 by 5 times 5 by 8, after cancelling that out, you'll be getting 3 by 8. Now, we can see that over here we get 3 by 28 and over here we get 3 by 8. Now, to check which is greater, we will try to find it out and make the denominators same. So, to take the LCM, we'll be getting okay, 7 to the 14 to the 28, 28 to the 56. So what can we do? LCM of 28 and 8 is 56. Now to convert it to 56, we need to multiply it by 2 to numerator and denominator. Over here, we need to multiply it by 7 to numerator and denominator. So we'll be getting 6 upon 56 and over here we'll be getting 21 upon 56. Now comparing these two, we know that 6 by 56 is smaller than 21 by 56, or 6 by 56 is 2 by 7 of 3 by 4 is less than 3 by 5 of 5 by 8. So we can say that 3 by 5 of 5 by 8 is greater. Let's move on to the second part of it. Again, we'll be doing the same thing. Again, be with your pen and paper. Try to solve these questions here itself, so that if you have any doubt, you can clear it here itself. So, we'll be getting half of 6 by 7. You can cancel this out, so we'll be getting 3 by 7. Over here, we have 2 by 3 of 3 by 7. You can cancel it out, we get 2 by 7. Since we have same denominator, so we can simply compare the numerators. So after comparing the fractions, we know that 3 by 7 is greater than 2 by 7. That means half of 6 by 7 is greater than 2/3 of 3 by 7. So we can say that half of 6 by 7 is greater in this case. Now, let's move on to fifth question. Fifth question says that Shelly plants 4 saplings in a row in her garden. The distance between two adjacent saplings is 3 by 4. Find the distance between the first and the last sapling. Now, let's understand this question this way, that we have planted 1 sapling here, then 2, then 3, then 4. So, we have planted 4 saplings in a row in our garden. Now, the distance between two adjacent saplings, that means the distance between these two is 3 by 4 meter. The adjacent one again 3 by 4 meter, again 3 by 4 meter. Now they are asking about the distance which we have between the first and the last sapling. So what do? So Sally plants 4 saplings in a row, and we know that distance between two adjacent saplings is 3 by 4 meter. Now the distance between the first and the last sapling is, either we can add all of them, so we'll get 3 by 4 plus 3 by 4 plus 3 by 4, or since we discussed in earlier videos, we can write it down as 3 times 3 by 4. So whatever thing you will apply, you will be getting the same answer. So you will be getting 9 by 4 meter or 2 1 by 4 meter. So the distance between the first and the last sapling will be 2 1 by 4 meter. Now let's move on to the sixth question now. It says that Lipika reads a book for 1 3 by 4 hours every day. Now she reads the entire book in 6 days. Now we need to check how many hours in all were required by her to read the book. Now we know that Lipika reads a book every day. How many times or how many hours? 1 3/4 hours. Or we can write time taken by Lipika to read a book every day is 1 3/4 hours. Now, entire book is read by Lipika in 6 days. Now, how many hours? That means time taken by Lipika to read the book is, what do we do? If in a day she reads 1 3/4 hours, then in 6 days she'll be reading 1 3/4 times 6 hours. It means when we'll convert it to improper fraction, we'll be getting 7/4 times 6 hours. We'll be cancelling 4 and 6 out by 2. We'll be getting 2 to the 4, 2 3 the 6, which means 21/2 hours. Now if we convert it to mixed fraction, we'll be getting 10 1/2 hours. So Lipika read the whole book in 10 1/2 hours. So Lipika read the book in 10 1/2 hours. Let's move on to the 7th question. Now this question says a car runs 16 km using 1 liter of petrol. Now how much distance will it cover using 2 3/4 liters of petrol? So now distance covered by a car in 1 liter of petrol is 16 km. So distance covered by a car in 2 3/4 liters will be 16 times 2 3/4, because in 1 liter of petrol, if he is driving, if he is covering the distance of 16 km, then in 2 3/4 liters he will be covering the distance of 2 3/4 times 16 km. So we will be solving it out. We will be getting 11/4. We will be cancelling 4 and 16 out. So we will be getting 4 times 11 km, which is 44 kilometers. So it covers the distance of 44 kilometer using 2 3/4 liters of petrol. Do mention these, the distance covered by a car, or at the end the final answer, because it has marks for it. So do write all the steps and all the statements together. Now let's move on to the last question which we have. Question 8, A part says we need to provide the number in this box such that we know that 2/3 of something will be 10/30. Now we need to write what is that something and we need to fill it in the box. Now to multiply two numbers, what do? We'll multiply numerators and then we'll multiply denominators. So what do we multiply by 2 to get it? 10. That's correct. We'll be multiplying it by 5 to get 10. How about denominator? What do we multiply by 3 to get 30? Yes, 3 tens are 30. So we'll be getting 5/10, which is written in this box, because 2/3 times 5/10 will be 10/30. Now it says what is the simplest form of the number obtained in the box? Now the number which you obtained in the box is 5/10. And we can cancel them out, and we can write it down as 1/2. So the simplest form of the number obtained in the bracket or in this box is 1 by 2. Let's move on to the B part. You can try it yourself. I'll give you a few seconds. So what do we multiply by 3 to give it 24? Get a good guess. 8. So we'll be multiplying by 8, then only we can write 3 times 8 is 24. How about denominator? What do we multiply by 5 so that we can get 75? Either you can check that out what it is, or we can divide 75 by 5 and we'll be getting 12 over here. Isn't it? No, that's correct. You got me. That will be 13 over here. Isn't it? We have 24 by 75. No, then what? That's correct. Here we go. We'll be getting 15 over here. So 5 times 15 is 75. Or we can write it down this way. 5 ones are 5. We left it 2. So 5 times is 25. So we're getting 8 upon 15. Now, the second part says what is the simplest form of the number obtained in the box. Now we can say that 8 by 15 is actually the standard form and we cannot simplify it further. So we'll write it down that the simplest form of the number obtained in the box is 8 by 15 only. Now we are done with the second exercise. Keep on practicing and you'll come up with the more videos and with the next exercises with us. Till then, take care. Thank you so much.